So today we're going to be talking about Baldur's Gate 3, an amazing game, and we're going to be playing the class of Bard. You can pick whatever race you want. I just have half orc here, but I went with human. Kind of looks like this too. The race is not the most important thing because this is not going to be a min-max build. This is more about what I played and this is more about having fun, but it is going to be well made. Bard. Bards know music is more than idle fantasy. Fancy. It is power. Through study and adventure, these traveling troubadours master song, speech, and the magic within. So you start with the cantrips, Vicious Mockery, and Blade Ward. Really good starting cantrips, by the way. Vicious Mockery allows you to do 1 to 4 psychic damage. Insult a creature, it has a disadvantage on its next roll. It's a wisdom save, so try to use it on people who have low wisdom. Blade Ward, Abjuration Cantrip, I've never been able to say that word, takes only half damage from bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing attacks. Again, very good for a class that is quite squishy. You're not a very tanky person. This will very much help you survive throughout the game, but especially in the early game because the first 5 levels are the toughest levels in this game. So you got a pretty good start with cantrips. Cantrips are basically spells you can cast whenever you want. You don't use a spell slot. Spells. Healing Word. I think quite self-explanatory. You can heal 4 to 7. Heal creature you can see. You can heal undead or constructs. Dissonant Whispers is a level 1 enchantment spell. 3 to 18 damage. Pretty diverse range in terms of the damage you can do. Frighten a creature. They will have a disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls, and they cannot move. So very powerful, I would say. Throughout the game, I would keep this. On save, target still takes half damage. So even if the person is able to make a good wisdom check, they still will take half damage. Very good spell. 2 turns. Tasha's Hideous Laugh. Level 1 enchantment spell. Leave a creature prone with laughter without the ability to get up. It is a wisdom save. It is also a concentration spell. So yes, this is a spell that can be broken if you take enough damage and you fail a constitution roll. But with the build that I have, you won't be failing any constitution rolls. If you do fail, you just got very unlucky. So prone basically means that they can't move or take actions. Bonus actions or reactions have a disadvantage on strength and dexterity saving throws. So basically, they've fallen on the ground and they can't get up. They have to spend half the movement speed to get up, and attacks against this creature have advantage. So again, people with low wisdom, these are the people you use these spells against. Heroism is, I would say, something you can use, but it's not something I've really used because I leave it for my healers and support casters to basically take this spell. It's a level 1 enchantment spell. Make yourself or target immune to frightened and gain 5 temporary hit points each turn. It is a concentration spell, and you can only have 1 concentration spell, and it's also a melee spell, so I think you have to go up to the person to do it. You like to stay in the back line, so you don't want to go up to people, even your friends, and give them the spell. Actions. Bardic Inspiration, amazing action. So action is something you can do, I think, once per turn. You can do more depending on your subclass and your class. Inspire an ally to add a 1d6 bonus to their next attack roll, ability check, or saving throw. I love to use this on my frontliners so that if they're going to get hit with a spell that's going to make them frightened or make them prone or whatever, it stops it. It's brilliant. I love it. And it's a bonus action, which means you can use this and then also do an action. Really nice. I just think Bard is so good. It's so strong, even from the early game. Class feature level 1 spells unlocked. You got 2 level 1 slots. So it's really nice. So cantrips you can choose, of course. I would stay with these. They're very nice. Spells, I would replace heroism with sleep. Why would I do that? Because sleep puts creatures into a magical slumber. Select targets up to a combined 24 hit points. Very powerful. Because not a lot of people are not above 24 hit points in the early game. And again, you can upcast. Upcasting is basically where you use a higher spell slot to increase the power of the spell, which you can do with Dissonant Whispers as well. So more damage in this case with Dissonant Whispers. But for sleep, you can cast it on people with more hit points than 24. So scales well too. 2 turns, they're out. So as long as they don't take damage, they're going to be sleeping. So you should use this on like spellcasters or rogues, people who don't have a lot of health, but are very dangerous. Pretty much everyone's dangerous in the higher difficulties. I've been trying honor mode, getting my ass whooped, and then not being able to complete it, but it's fun. I've been trying it. But this build I finished on just tactician mode. Starting instrument, you can use whatever you want. It's just more about the sound of your spells, and I think the sound of your performance. You can perform as a bard and make a little bit of money. I like the flute. Sounds very nice, doesn't it? So I love it. Background, whatever you want. Again, this is more about roleplay. I want people to be able to roleplay in my builds. It's not hyper specific. I went with noble because I think I like the idea of a kind of a rich, privileged guy running around being a bard. Kind of a dick in the beginning, but becomes a better person. You know, I have a whole thing going on, a whole arc with him. But it also fits really well because you get history check and persuasion checks. So you can get more persuasion, which is a big part of the bard. Bard is a lot about convincing people or tricking people or scaring people. So your speech skills are very important because remember, your main attribute is charisma. We will get to the attributes, but your main attribute is charisma. History is also nice. Remember the past of the world and its people. So you learn a lot about the world of Dungeons and Dragons and of Baldur's Gate with this skill. So I think it's a great skill to have in the first playthrough. You get to learn a lot, especially if you don't know a lot, which I didn't. So very nice. Now let's go to abilities. This is very big. So your starting strength should be 8. Strength is not important for this build that we're going for. So strength 8, -1 to strength checks, no problem there. Dexterity, you want it high, even though you're not a person who's going to wear armor in this build. It's good to have it high. Because, well, wait a minute. Why is it, let me leave it here. Yeah, there you go. So you assign bonuses +2, +1. Put the +2 at charisma. We'll discuss +1 in a bit. So dexterity is agility, reflexes, and balance. Affects your effectiveness with ranged and finesse weapons. None of this is really important. But here's what's the important part. Affects your initiative. Now, initiative is you every time combat starts, you roll a dice, and that determines who goes first. So everyone kind of goes in an order, right? Because this is turn-based combat. The higher initiative, the more likely you are to go first. Now, this is very important because if you don't go first, well, the opponent gets to hit you before you can hit them. And that can be pretty devastating, especially in higher difficulties. And as you get into Act 2, I would say Act 2 is where I really felt the difference and why I was very happy that I went with high dexterity. Because if I didn't, I don't think I would have been able to get through certain sections as well as I did. And I don't think I would have had as much fun in the game. So dexterity is important, even for classes that don't use armor and their main attribute is not dexterity. Dexterity is still important. So I would leave that at 14. Constitution. Let's see. Let's put that at 15. Now, you get your +2 and +3 here based on your attribute level. And even attributes increase the points. Odd attributes don't do. So see, Constitution's +2 with 15. You reduce it to 14, it's still +2. So it's better to have even numbers, but there's a specific reason why I have it on an odd number here. And I will get into that reason a little later into this build. So, intelligence 10, because you don't really need to. Wisdom 10, I don't like to have negative attributes as much as possible because you will fail wisdom and intelligence checks. But for my bard, strength is not important. You gotta, I think, have one negative skill somewhere, but more than one, I don't want it. So, charisma, this is your primary attribute. This is your proficiency attribute. Like, let's say, it says right here, primary ability, the most important ability for your class. It influences your chance to hit and your damage output with weapon attacks or your spells. So this is your most important attribute. Put it at 17, I would say. Even though, yes, 16 is still +3. I don't really see the point of increasing either of these right now. So, and you don't need more than 14 dex. Charisma, +3. Awesome. And with the +2 assigned bonus to +2. You want to put the +1 on Constitution. So this is your starting attributes that are the best in my opinion. Constitution checks will determine whether you can keep your concentration spells active, like this spell over here, Tasha's Hideous Laughter. It's a concentration spell, right? If you don't have high one, anytime someone hits you, you're very likely to lose the spell, and then you have to recast it, which means you have to spend another level 1 spell slot, and the person is no longer prone. Not good at all. Oh, and the target can't shake off the effect each time it takes damage, so do be aware of that. So if you're going to hit someone with this who's under the effect of the spell, make sure that they're done. Like, you can take them out. So, make sure your constitution's high for any spell casting character, constitution being high is important. But let's look at skill proficiencies. This is a lot of it to do with role play. So I like having nice stealth because stealth is a good way of initiating combat in higher difficulties. You can't always be in stealth because this character is going to be the character you're gonna have talk to other people with. Sometimes combat will start right after a conversation, so I'm not gonna always be able to be sneaking, but when you can, it's good. So there's history, but you already have +2 on that. Survival, I'd rather put it in perception. I like being perceptive. Observe your environment, spot hidden details. This is a really good way of being able to figure out if someone's going to do you harm in a conversation. It's very nice. I really like this one. So deception, very good. Intimidation, if you want to scare people, bully people. But I like to have performance and persuasion more. We can buff intimidation later. It's still +3, which is really good, by the way. But yeah, I like to put a little bit in perception. So deception, performance, persuasion are your 3 primary skills, I'd say. Deception, lie and cheat, manipulate the truth. Performance, entertain audience, command the stage so you can use a certain performance skill that the bard has, and you can make money, you can entertain people. Persuasion, I think is quite obvious. Turn on the charm, coax and cajole. So yeah, you'll be able to see and talk your way out of a lot of situations, which is a big deal in honor mode or in tactician mode. Avoiding combat is a great way of getting through certain things, especially in honor mode. So that is your starting attribute, your starting spells, cantrips, class. Background, I leave it up to you, and instrument, I leave it up to you. All right, everyone. Let's move on to how this bard looks as it goes through the levels from level 1 to level 12. All right, so we're level 2. Jack of all trades. Your vast experience makes you more likely to succeed in any undertaking. Add half your proficiency bonus, round it down to ability checks that you're not proficient in. So basically, you get like a +2 or a +3 to any check you make in dialogue, like wisdom check, intelligence check, strength check, whatever check, constitution, because of the jack of all trades. And it goes up as you go up in levels because your proficiency bonus increases. It's really awesome. So at max level, you can basically pass any dialogue check. And that's what makes bards, I think, the best class when it comes to dialogue. And of course, they're very powerful in combat as well. They're just such a great class. It's a great first time class, I would say. Next, you get another level 1 spell slot. Song of Rest, very nice. You and your allies are revitalized as though you would have taken a short rest. So you get an additional short rest. A short rest is twice a day, you can restore 50% of your hit points. Warlocks restore their spell slots. You can also restore some actions and bonus actions as well. So very nice to have an additional short rest. Spells. So your level 2 spell can be the Disguise Self or Charm Person. Both are nice. A lot of nice utility spells. I would personally go for Disguise Self just because I like the ability to disguise myself as somebody else and how that changes dialogue and the outcome of a scene. I really like it, so I went for that. But if you want to go for something more combat oriented, you can probably go Charm Person, Charm a humanoid to prevent it from attacking you. You gain advantage on charisma checks and dialogue. However, enemies have an advantage on saving throws against being charmed, so it's a bit harder to land that. So I would rather go for this. And now we're level 3. This is where we pick our subclass. Very, very important. So, we're going to be going College of Lore. You pursue beauty and truth, collecting knowledge from scholarly tomes to peasant tales, and use your gifts to hold both audiences and enemies spellbound. The subclass features use your wit, cutting words, use your wit to distract a creature and sap its confidence. It allows you to use, as a reaction, this cutting words to reduce the enemy's chances of hitting one of your allies or hitting you. It's really good, actually. The spell you want to pick is Heat Metal. Heat Metal, level 2 transmutation spell. 2 to 16 damage. You roll a 2d8. Fire. Causes a metal weapon or armor to glow red hot and forces the wearer to let go or receive a disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. If the creature is only wearing metal armor, it always receives disadvantage. If the creature is still touching the metal, you can use a bonus action on subsequent turns to deal another 2 to 16 fire damage and force the creature to let go or receive disadvantage. So, it is just such a good spell against anyone who's wearing metal armor or wielding a metal weapon, which is pretty common. Somebody's going to be doing one of those or both of those if you're lucky. and you use the spell. It is a concentration spell, and it is a constitution save. That's how you defend against it. So try to pick on someone who has a low constitution and who's holding a metal weapon or armor or both, and this will work very well and prevent them from attacking you. Because remember, to pick up that weapon, it costs an action. Really, really nice. And you can, again, if the creature's still touching the metal, you can recast it as a bonus action. Pretty cool. Abilities. You can get some additional skill proficiencies. I would go for whichever, I say perception. Pretty nice. Intimidation. Very nice. But if you've already taken stealth, you can go something like athletics or acrobatics, right? Helps you resist being shoved. Very nice. You don't want to get shoved off places. And if you've already taken perception, something like insight is also very nice. Read people and situations, detect lies. Very, very nice as well. So, because in this build, I didn't take stealth or perception initially, which I should have, I'm going to take it now. So, pretty well rounded now. Now, we are level 4. Got more health. Class features, another level 2 spell slot. Gain a cantrip, gain a spell, replace spell, new feat available. Feats are awesome. So, cantrip, I'd say I like lights. I like lights because infuse an object with an aura of light. It prevents people who get advantages in darkness from getting those advantages. It's very useful in Act 2 where there's a lot of shadows and stuff. So, very nice cantrip to have. Spells. I would go Crown of Madness. Very nice spell, because it's an enchantment spell. Instill madness in a humanoid enemy, making them attack the creature closest to them other than you, even if it's allied. So you can turn one of your enemies into allies temporarily. It's a wisdom save, concentration spell, 3 turns. Very nice. So pick on someone with low wisdom who has damage, who can hit hard. Your feat. Now feats are bonuses that you get that will help your character out. So the first bonus we want to go for is ability improvement. You increase one ability by 2 or 2 abilities by 1 to a maximum of 20. So what you want to do is 1 point in charisma, 1 point in constitution. So now your constitution is +3 instead of +2. Charisma is +4 instead of +3. So that means your spells are more likely to land because it is your primary attribute. And then you have a higher constitution, which means you're less likely to lose a concentration spell. So awesome power boost here at level 4. So we're at level 5. We got more health. Got a level 3 spell slot. That's awesome. You get 2 level 3 spell slots, which are restored in long rest. You regain all your bardic inspiration after a long or short rest. This is really awesome, so you can use it much more now. Improved bardic inspiration. The bonus gain from bardic inspiration is increased to plus 1d8. I think it was a 1d4, so it's a 4-sided dice. Now it's an 8-sided dice, so you can have the bonus is much stronger now. I think it's double, if I'm not mistaken, if my math is correct. So now the spell you want to take is Hypnotic Pattern. Hypnotize creatures that can see the pattern. They cannot attack you, they cannot move or act. The spell can be cast while you're silenced, which is incredible. So if someone hits you with some sort of silence is basically you can't cast spells that involve a verbal component, which is, I think, most spells. This one doesn't. So very useful spell. Hypnotize. It's a condition. Can't move or take actions, bonus actions or reactions removed by taking damage or when helped. So this is really useful to use against large groups of opponents, and this prevents them from attacking you. So you can take them out one by one. So it's a very powerful spell, I would say. Especially level 5. I love it. Level 6. More health. We got 1 level 3 spell slot. 1 more. Class action, this is really awesome. Counter Charm. You and any allies within 9 meters have an advantage on saving throws against being charmed or frightened. This is very nice. So it prevents you from being affected by the things that you inflict upon others, which I love. It's an action, so when you do use it, you can't cast a spell, so you can't use it and then use another spell. So you should be tactical for when you use it. Try using it perhaps the second round, because the first round you want to get a spell off. If your initiative is high, which with this build it is, unless you know by examining your opponents that there is someone who can cast Frightened. But I would generally recommend use this the second turn. Gain a spell, gain 2 spells. So spell for level 6 is Plant Growth, because plant growth makes weeds burst from the ground and smother the area. Creatures moving through the weeds have their movement speed quartered. It lasts for 10 turns. It's not a concentration spell, so you can use it and you can use another spell on top of it, which is why we got this, because the next spell works really well with this. Magical Secrets. Your versatile knack for the arcane lets you learn magic from every discipline. Choose some additional spells to add to a repertoire. The spell we're going to pick is Hunger of Hadar. Level 3 conjuration spell. 4 to 24 damage. 2d6 cold damage plus 2d6 acid. Conditional. Creatures within this black sphere are blinded and take damage at the end of the turn and the start of their next turn. Creatures starting their turn in the area take 2 to 12 cold damage. Creatures ending their turn in the area possibly take 2 to 12 damage. The area is difficult terrain, so difficult terrain is movement speed is halved. Now, so the incentive for this spell is to keep people in a certain area, keep them damaged. They will be blinded on top of that as well. So it has a disadvantage on attack rolls. Ranged attacks and spells are reduced to 3 meters. Attack rolls against blinded creatures have advantage. So this is a very powerful spell against big groups of opponents. And the reason that this will work even better, because you took this plant growth spell, which makes the movement speed quartered, and then on top of that, this halves it. So people are going to be moving in slow motion, which is exactly what you want, because you want to keep people in this black sphere as long as possible. Then the next one you want to take is Counter Spell. This is a great defensive one. Level 3 Abjuration spell. Try to stop a spell being cast. If it is a high level than the spell slot you use to counterspell, you must make a check using a spellcasting ability to prevent it. The check's difficulty is equal to 10 plus the level of the spell you are trying to counter. So it's very hard to counter a spell that is a higher level than you. So I would recommend using the same level spell slot that the attacking spell is. So if it's a level 5 spell, use a level 5 spell slot. But it's very useful. So if you have a spellcaster that's going to go first, and that is powerful, which pretty much every spellcaster in this game is, you can stop them from attacking anybody on your team. It's a great reaction. So with these two, you have great offense and great defense. I think this is where I'd say level 6 is a huge power spike for your bard. So level 7, you get one level 4 spell slot. So the level 4 spell you want to take is Polymorph. Transform a creature into a harmless sheep. It's a wisdom save. It's concentration. If the sheep hit points drop to 0, the target reverts its original form with its original hit points. This is really, really good to take someone out of the battle temporarily. I generally use this against people with low wisdom, of course, and who are very, very dangerous. Very dangerous. People who you just can't allow any turns. Usually a boss I use this against Balthazar, even though I got very lucky there. I didn't have a high hit chance with the spell, but I did. And it made the fight so much easier, because that is a hard fight. Now I think you can replace a spell. I would say take Tasha Hideous Laughter, because you don't need this anymore. I don't think it upscales well either, because you have a lot of concentration spells going on. You're not going to be really using this anymore. So take this, and then what you want to take is, I would say, Freedom of Movement. This is a very, very powerful spell that prevents people from being stunned. Difficult terrain can't slow them down, and they can't be magically paralyzed or restrained. If the target is restrained by non-magical means, it can spend 1.5 meters of movement to free itself. This is a very good spell for any caster to have. And it's not a concentration spell. Okay, level 8. We get one level 4 spell slot. Now we can take Confusion. Confuse a group of creatures, causing them to attack at random, wander around aimlessly, and occasionally skip turns in the stupor. This is, again, another wisdom save spell. Very useful, I would say, against opponents who've managed to get out of the black sphere, out of the harms of Hadar, and now they're coming towards you. And they're in a group, hit them with this. Because now they're going to be confused, they'll attack each other, or randomly wander around, or skip the turn completely. Very useful spell to use. Feat, level 8 feat. Now, since you have a lot of concentration spells, you want the ability to have good constitution save rolls. So, Warcaster. You gain advantage on saving throws to maintain concentration on a spell. You can also use a reaction to cast Shocking Grasp at a target moving out of melee range. This is also nice. The target cannot use reaction. Because now an advantage is basically makes you more likely to succeed. Roll 2 dice and use the higher value. Every saving throw for a concentration spell, you will be using the best available dice. Very awesome. So use Warcaster. So we got more health. We get 1 level 4 spell slot. We get 1 level 5 spell slot. Really nice. So the level 5 spell you want to take is Dominate Person. Make a humanoid fight alongside you. Every time the creature takes damage, it makes a wisdom saving throw against your domination. Allies cannot be dominated. So it's like a better version of this spell. Where is it? Crown of Madness spell. So you can replace that now. And the one that I would replace that with is maybe Hold Monster. That's another really good one. So I take out Crown of Madness and put Hold Monster. So Hold Monster, paralyze the creature. It can't move or act or react. Attacks from within 3 meters are always critical hits. This is, again, very useful against a creature. Any creature that is not an undead. So now level 10. Gain the cantrip, gain the spell, gain 2 spells. Cantrip, let's say we can use perhaps True Strike is nice. Advantage on the next attack roll. Spells. Planar Binding, I think, is quite useful. So target must be a celestial, an elemental, a fae, or a fiend. Target another worldly creature and attach its consciousness to your own. It will follow and fight for you as an ally. Really useful if you're fighting any of those opponents, which based on certain choices, you might be fighting a lot. Magical Secrets, you know what it is. We get 2 additional spells. We should get Conjure Elemental. Bend the barrier between the planes until they disgorge an elemental ally to follow and fight for you. So you can choose a earth, air, fire, water elemental. All of them have their own pros and cons. Very useful to have more bodies in the fight, more people in the fight, because they will take damage rather than you taking damage, and also more abilities, more spells, more attacks. Just a useful spell to have. Just useful to have. And another good spell to take, I would say, is like Fire Shield. Wreath your body in flames that shed light in 3-meter radius. Provide resistance to fire cold damage and retaliate against melee attacks. Because at this point in the game, people are able to target you. Like I had fought assassins are able to basically teleport to you and hit you. So this is very good to have, I would say, as a protection spell against you. Because again, you're not the most tankiest person, so having this is good. And it's not a concentration spell. Brilliant. Skill proficiencies. You get a little bit more skill proficiencies. Now you can pick whatever you want. I pick usually Intimidation, Persuasion. Not Intimidation. Perception. Because now Persuasion is basically guaranteed. And again, more Perception. Alright, so we are at level 11. We get a level 6 spell slot now. Awesome. The one that I would take is Eye Bite. Your eyes become black corridors walled in your teeth. Your gaze incapable of inflicting dread, sickness, or putting creatures to sleep. While concentrating, you may cast Eye Bite without expanding a spell slot. So you can use this as a bonus action, I think. Very nice. Level 12, we're finally here at the end of it all. You get more health, you gain a spell, you can replace spell, and you get your final feat. So the next spell we want to take is Otto's Irresistible Dance. Level 6 enchantment spell. Cause the creature to start dancing, making it unable to take actions or move. Its attackers have advantage on attack rolls. The dancer has disadvantage on attack rolls and dexterity saving throws. Very useful in boss fights, which you will be doing quite a bit at this point. So yes, take that. It also has disadvantage on dexterity saving throws, which means that anyone attacking with a finesse weapon like Will or Starion will have an additional advantage. So if you have one of them in your party, this is nice. So let's go to feat. And our final one will be ability improvement again. And boom. Now we have max charisma 20s. Plus 5 to charisma checks. Which means your spells have a much higher chance of landing. You are now at full power. So that's it for the leveling. And for how to play this bard from level 1 to level 12. The next section now will be about the equipment and what you should wear to maximize the effectiveness of your bard. Alright, so for equipment, bards don't have a lot of equipment that is specific for them. I mean, they can wear all sorts of equipment that helps with magic, but bards do have a few specific equipment. I missed a bunch of them on my playthrough because this is my first playthrough, but I did my research and I know which ones are the best. So for your armor, luckily I did manage to pick this one up. It's called Potent Robe. Gregarious Casters. Your cantrips deal an additional damage equal to your charisma modifier. So any of these cantrips like True Strike, Vicious Mockery, the Vicious Mockery especially gets a huge bonus. So it's very, very good. I love this. I think this is something you get after you save the tieflings from Moonrise Towers, and Alfiria, the bard from the first act, has to be alive. And I think her girlfriend, I forgot the girlfriend's name, also has to be alive. So basically, you gotta do, you gotta keep a bunch of people alive and rescue them in order to get this rope, but it's very worth it. Well liked and well fortified. At the beginning of the wearer's turn, the robe activates, granting them temporary hit points equal to their charisma modifier, and also gives you a +1 armor class. So really good robe. You don't need any armor. This is the one you should wear throughout the game. In the early game, you'll get something called Blazer or Benevolence that you get from rescuing Volo, everyone's favorite bard. What it does is it has this feature called Remedial Rhymes. When you inspire an ally using Bardic Inspiration, which is this right here, you gain 4 temporary hit points. So that's very strong in the early game, but I would replace it with Potent Robe the moment you get it. Then you should have for your boots called Boots of Brilliance. Restore Bardic Inspiration. This is very strong because you do run out of Bardic Inspiration charges. It is a bonus action. It lasts a long rest, but I think you need long rest in order to get Bardic Inspiration. Oops. So this allows you to restore it at once. And this is also only available once per long rest. So use it tactically, but it does give you more Bardic Inspiration charges. Very nice. For your helmet, there's something in the early game called Cap of Curing. It's found near Alfiria the Bard, where she's sitting and making her song in the Emerald Grove in Act 1. It's in a locked chest behind her, so you can find it. It has this feature called Soothing Songs. When you inspire an ally using Bardic Inspiration, they also regain 1d6 hit points. So it's 6-sided dice, you roll it, the ally gets hit points. Very useful in the early game. You can even use it later into the game. I also like Circlet of Mental Anguish. I think this is more of an offensive one. When an enemy fails a Charisma, Intelligence, or Wisdom saving throw against one of your spells or cantrips, you regain 1 to 4 hit points. You get to choose. Do you want to heal your allies or do you want to heal yourself? So for gloves, I didn't get the greatest gloves. I got Brain Drain gloves. I missed the best one. The best one is called Wondrous Gloves. It has a feature called Troubadour's Wonder. Your armor class is increased by 1. In addition, if you have Bardic Inspiration, you get 1 more use of it. Gives you a +1 to your attack rolls and +1 to your armor class. Very powerful, very useful for a bard because Bardic Inspiration is one of your best abilities. Do have a know though that this improved Bardic Inspiration that I have here, which you get from performing with Alfiria in front of the kids, you perform a song for them. You can do this, I think you do this in Moonrise Tower based on after you save her and save the tieflings and you've saved the day. You can do it. You get this. So it's really good, but it doesn't apply that healing bonus. Only the regular Bardic Inspiration, this one, applies the bonus. So just be aware of that, okay? And then for Cloak of Displacement. This, I think, is a really good one for bards, for College of Lore bards specifically. At the beginning of the wearer's turn, the cloak activates, granting enemies disadvantage on attack rolls that target the wearer. The effect lasts until the wearer takes damage. This is very nice because you don't have, you have 14 dex, which is nice, but sometimes, especially in the later game, enemies have higher dex, so they'll go before you. So it's good to have that defensive element so that you don't get blasted to pieces before you can even do anything. So it's very nice. For your amulet, I like taking Spellcrux Amulet. It's very rare. It gives you a spell slot restoration. Replenish an expended spell slot of any level. You find it in the Moonrise Tower prison. It's worn by the prison warden. It's very good for any casting class, so I like to keep it on me. Did I mention where you get Boots of Brilliance? I don't think I did. You get it in the Gauntlet of Shar in a heavy chest, just north of a potential boss fight with the demon. I forgot the name, Yubu or something. You know the demon that Raphael sends you to kill? That one. Cloak of Displacement, I got it at a shop in Rivington. It's the first town you get to in Act 3, so keep an eye out. It's where you go for Jahera's personal mission. If I remember, the first personal mission she has to meet a bunch of Harpers. There's a trader there, a dwarf. That's where you get this from, if I'm remembering right. So I also got the Mage's Friend, gives you Arcana +1, Religious +1. There's no real like bard specific rings, so you just pick whatever rings you want. I just did this so that I can pass more Arcana and Religion checks. Ring of Truthfulness, you gain advantage on insight checks, so I just picked the ones that give me checks. You can put whatever ring that you want. Rings aren't really that important. It's more so the amulet and the rest of the gear on the left here. So for weapons, again, doesn't really matter because you don't really use weapons for this build. You can use Firestoker. One deals an additional 1 to 4 piercing damage to burning targets. Hellfire hand crossbow. You know what? I think I should probably give this to Astarion. Let me just send it to him. I don't need that because I'm not blasting people with my weapons because I'm too busy hitting them with spells. So none of this really matters. The shield is nice, glowing shield. You get it in Act 1, I think, through loot. Through loot. I think it's in the Goblin Camp. No, it's not in the Goblin Camp. Oh, actually, you know what? It is in the Goblin Camp. You know that prisoner that is being tortured at the Goblin Camp, and then if you let him go, he escapes through a secret pathway. If you follow him, there's a bunch of traps, and then there's a chest. In that chest is where this glowing shield is. It's very nice. Once per short rest, if you are below 50% hit points and take damage, you gain 8 temporary hit points. I feel like this is really nice. Again, you want more survivability because that's probably the weakest point. Your biggest flaw is your survivability. So having items that help that, very nice. Alright, that's the equipment section of the video. I think that's it. We're done. We've covered everything you need to cover in this build. I think I'll leave a small bit of gameplay at the end here so that you guys can see the build in action. Alright, here we are. Combat is here. I'm going to show you how this build works in practice. We are in the Steel Foundry, beating up a bunch of bad guys. Let's get to it. Let's examine everybody. Fire resistance, so don't go near that person. You keep examining them to see if any resistances are there. These people have no resistances. Let's see how far this person can get. Okay, only that way. So, over there. Right there, so I want to get both of them. And you see how cutting words, I use cutting words because this guy rolled 11, my elemental. I use cutting words so that even though that both of them rolled a 14, I still got it to hit. Excellent ability. Now Astarion, I've made him very powerful accidentally. I didn't even mean to. I didn't even know what I was doing in this playthrough. But let's see. Remember, choose these elemental arrows. They're very nice. Ooh, look at that. Arrow of many targets. I think that's what it's called. So it hit like a bunch of people, as you can see. Now to me. Everybody's favorite bard. And let's go here. So that'll work for sure. So let's see how Hypnotic Pattern will do. 56%, 64%, 64, 75, 75, 50. Okay, so not great hit chances. What about Polymorph? 75, 64, can't be Polymorph, 75, 75. Okay, so my main worry is Hellfire Watcher does a lot of damage. And as you can see, Agile Chassis, advantage on Dexterity saving throws. Spells that alter someone's form have no effect. It has +5 saving throws against spells that are removed from this plane. Magic resistance. I mean, this is just a ridiculously powerful thing. So, Psychic immunity, Poison immunity. After losing significant amount of hit points, this creature will begin self-detonation protocol to eliminate all nearby threats. So, what you really want to do is you want to keep this thing, Steel Watcher, all the way back there. Let's see, this targeting is a bit wonky right now. Yeah, let's just do that. I know it caught my elemental in it. They can just kind of go here. Right. Perfect.
My turn.
Bardic Inspiration. Who should I put it on? I think I'll put her on Karlach. Oh, she already has it. Maybe I'll put on my elemental. What do you guys think? Oh, Astarion. I'll put on elemental. Yeah, I'll put on elemental.
I'm ready.
Let's see if he can hide here. Yes, he can. Perfect.
Oh, it's hot in here.
Okay.
Got it.
Let's make Karlach rage. I made her a berserker, I think. What did I do? Yeah, rogue multi-class. It's working really well. I might change her to fighter. I'm not sure. Let's see.
One, two.
Throw. Back. Right back to you. Perfect. Now you push them deeper into the Hadar thing. So now they have to sit there and walk all the way here. So I'll put her over here so that when I blow up these barrels, it won't be too bad. You know what I mean? Because I want to blow up these barrels. I want to get them over here and blow up the barrels. So let's see what they do. Okay, dashed. Perfect. They got all the way near the barrels. Let's see. Come. Come here. Everybody come here. Oh. Okay. Alright. I like this. Okay, everyone's kind of bunched up here. This is perfect. Okay. Shadowheart. I made her a life cleric because I think it makes sense if you get her to follow Selune. Which I did in this playthrough because I'm going a good playthrough. Maybe Moonbeam. That's nice. Let's see what happens. Perfect. Blew that person up. Immune to fire damage, so he didn't even take that much damage. Alright, Astarion, my friend. Let's see what he does. Okay. He's sneaky neaky. Arrow of many targets. You think I need that? I don't know. Maybe a smoke powder. Okay. Let's go. Perfect.
From here.
Okay. So let's use a nice spell here. What do I want to use? I can use Vicious Mockery. Nah, only 50% hit chance. 50% hit chance, not good. No good, no good. What about this? But it'll break that. Okay. What I can do though, let's see. Maybe I can just use this. Or I can use my Scorching Ray. Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, that didn't kill anybody. I messed up there. Oh. Okay. Definitely didn't kill anyone there. Okay, so first things first. Throw this. Okay, so I'm maimed. Unfortunately.
Go on.
Alright, killed them too. So we just took out 2 people even though I messed up. And even though I got Karlach maimed, she still took out 2 people. Excellent. Okay. Let me move the Moonbeam. Alright, let's move the Moonbeam. Let's put a nice healing on Karlach. Keep it pushing. So they are immune to fire damage, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, very resistant to it. Okay, so I'll just hasten. See what happens. Yeah, I'll just hit it with normal attacks. I actually think that will work better. Perfect. So, let's see what works on him. Oh, Vicious Mockery has 64% hit chance. Okay. Okay, he doesn't really do that much damage. I thought he'd do a lot more. Oh, I'm so stupid. Why did I walk into with Moonbeam? See? I'm still a noob. Still very much a noob. Okay. Let's do it again. let's do this. Yeah. Perfect. Move the moonbeam over there. Perfect. Let's heal Karlak.
No time for pain. Take your
Nice. So, Scarlet Feast. I don't even know how. I think you get that after you finish Astarion's personal mission. Consume it to make your next attack a critical hit. Oh, okay. Yes. Give me that. Don't miss. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay. Detonation impending. One turn? Seriously? Uh-oh. Ah! Okay. Huh. Let's see. I'm not gonna attack him. Let's see. Is there anything I can do to help here? Let's see. Type. Maybe Scroll of Gustwind can push these people out of there? Let's see. Let's see. Come on. I gotta help my people. No, I don't think I can. Okay. Oh! That's it for the video, y'all. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. I will absolutely be making more Baldur's Gate 3 videos in the future. Right now, I'm going to be focusing on Blood of the Dawnwalker, which is coming out September 3rd. So yeah, that's going to be my next game that I'm going to do a guide on. Alright everybody, enjoy the video. See you guys on the next one.